I'm making another video. What's up? This is Kiki Puda. No good, do gooder. I ain't really did much to my hair this morning. But anywho, I wanted to explain my destiny to people because, like, people think it's something that they could take or no. Sit down. I think she do this every time I get on the phone. Or it's where we are. And they're all new people. Okay? And it's not my fault, so sit down. Okay? I want to explain my destiny. So people can't understand why it's mine. Okay? It's mine because, number one, me and God discussed it before I even came to this earth. That's number one. Sealed in heaven, not by man. That's number two. It's filled with a whole lot of angelic protection because I was sent and God knew I was going to come here and do something that nobody else has done before or since Jesus. Okay? That's number three. And I'm a woman. That people don't like that because they did so much to kind of like shun women. All right? Or negate the fact that the creator is a woman first. Or that the man creator goes to the woman first. All right? Or that prophecies come through women first. All right? If you go back past 1,000 years, you start to understand. You start to see that. Okay? And God's been talking to me since I was a kid. So that's another thing. Plus, I went through all of the fuck shit like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. All right? Meaning, whatever they found as a blueprint that worked, they kept doing that shit. So it's a no-brainer that I know how to maneuver through the shit. Then, if they found something else that worked, no-brainer. I know how to maneuver through the shit because it's been done so many times. Like, literally, so many times. Okay? And the best example I can give that's documented is I've had 10 blood transfusions. When they find something that works, they keep doing it. Okay? And it's to help out groups of people. It's to help out all these other... And people think I shouldn't even get credit for the unseen help that I have provided folk, even from you, stealing from me. By, like, keeping your life safe and you putting me in danger. Keeping your life comfortable and you stealing from me. Bringing your fuck shit to my door knowing it's supposed to be at yours. Like, you don't even look at that like that's a blessing. And if you do look at it like a blessing, you still want to come at it like it's a form of a curse that should be mine. When I'm curse-free, hex-free, binding-free. I didn't come here with debt. And all the shit that people were doing to me, I didn't have debt. They were trying to give me their debt. And when they gave it to me, I took it, I ate it, meaning I went through the shit, and I dealt with it. And I dealt with it in a way where to understand it. Not to run from it. Not to just whine about it. But to learn and provide a solution for it. And so as I provided a solution, people would get upset and be like, no, we want her in this energy right here. And what a lot of folks don't understand is I was in that energy already before. I just wasn't living in your town. Somebody from my town contacted you and told you to do this to me in my new town. Like that. And I'm like, damn, I just went through this in my old town. But it's because evil motherfuckers want to just keep trailing me. And they in my family. Just to make my life a living hell. When in actuality, as you would make my life a living hell, God was documenting everything. And giving me spiritual stripes for it all. You know what I'm saying? Making me, a 5-star general in this bitch. And it's like, what people don't understand too, I was already a 5-star general in the heavens. Better than that. Bigger than that. And people knew that. And they still was like, this is going to sound so fucked up, but it's the truth. They would know you sent from heaven. They would know you have the anointing on you. They would know that God has placed favor over your life. And they would literally want to fuck that shit up on purpose. And they want to get it out of you on purpose. Like they feel like it's a form of covering that you shouldn't have. And you know what God is saying? Why shouldn't she have it? She ain't doing the demonic shit that y'all motherfuckers doing. Y'all doing all the demonic shit to her. Why wouldn't I cover her? Why wouldn't I help her? Why wouldn't I keep her alive? Why wouldn't I make sure that she all right or she straight? Why wouldn't I give her some extra ideas? Especially if she say, no, I ain't into selling my body. I want to be able to make money with my mind. I want to be able to make money, the right way. I want to be able to do this shit the right way. And God is like, why the fuck would I block that? She's choosing her higher self. She's not choosing her lower self. And she's not even choosing it because she's influenced by your lower vibrational people. So that means even under the pressure, I'm choosing my higher self. That gets like logged in my higher self logbook in the heavens. Like everyone has angels, ancestors, and gods assigned to them. Every vessel does. And just because you can't see them, that don't mean that they can't see you. That don't mean that they don't know what you're doing. That don't mean that they ain't walk with you everywhere that you're going. So even when no one's looking, someone's looking. That's what that means. Okay? That's a real thing. So it's like, why? Let me see. Oh, I don't know why I thought I heard somebody's doorbell. Well, I let her look out the window or something, I guess. But it's like, what happened to having some good behavior even when people not looking, not watching you, not knee deep in your business or down your throat? That's what God looks at. God's like, I know what her spiritual resume is. I know what her physical resume is. I know what her emotional resume is. I know what her intellectual resume is. I know her. Because she chooses to seek me. She chooses to understand me. God is your higher self. It's like when you want to waddle in something and be like, oh, it's me. That's you residing in your lower self. That's you staying in your devilish nature. That's you complaining when all you got to do is get your ass up, turn around, and start walking upward, which is thinking in your higher self. There's nothing wrong with thinking in your higher self. You're going to get your butt over here and sit down. That's what you're going to do. No, ma'am. No. There's no need for you to go outside. Ain't nobody outside for you. Sit down. But My destiny was marked for greatness since I was a kid, because I did the work in my previous life. God sets up destinies, not man. God sets up fates, not man. And you know this already, but if you keep the people blind to that, they don't understand it. So that's why when people want me to walk in the destiny of like a whore, and they're wondering why I didn't succumb to like whoredom, okay? It's like that wasn't my destiny. That wasn't my walk. That wasn't my thought process. That wasn't the vision I had for myself. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't matter if you can say, oh, that's all and half the time you ain't saying this shit to me. I want to make sure people understand that. But it's like, oh, no, that's all she good for. She ain't done but this, and that. And you could just be saying that shit in the spirit. You know? And God does the same shit that other motherfuckers do. God just be looking like, I ain't seen her do not one whole move yet. And even when she probably thought she was stepping in the whole territory, she stepped back and said, no, I'm going to pull this on back. And I didn't care about what people would think of me. You know, I didn't have a problem with speaking my mind to anyone. I had no problem with saying, hey, I know I got these big ass knockers, whether you can see them or not, but I got a face too. You know what I'm saying? Just because I got big ass titties, it's like people be like, well, why you didn't cover yourself up? Shit, last time I checked, you got bigger ones than mine. But you'll wear a crop top, but you'll wear a this top, or you'll have, but I got to cover mine up. What's the difference in my titties and yours? They both big. It's shit like that. You know. And so it's like one of those things where when you say things like that to people, you don't realize you're in your north node. You're thinking objectively. You're thinking fair. You're thinking on a wave of understanding. You're not thinking in a lower nature of, oh, no, my husband, I know the low top I got on, he can see what I got going on. But I don't want him to see what you got going on. And in a regular person's mind, they would be like, well, your husband is supposed to be interested in your shape. You know what I'm saying? And if your husband is interested in somebody else's shape, he ain't a faithful man. But see, it's like people don't want to accept that thought like that. But those are still destiny moves in your thinking. And somebody else could be upset like, why the fuck is she saying that? Or why is she making me think like that? Or, damn, my mind is in a lower mode of thinking. Okay? So, if that happens, if you are in a low vibrational state or a lack mindset in reference to the physical nature of yourself or someone, I need for you to like say to yourself like, hey, I need to give my person credit for being him, or I need to give my friend credit for being her. Matter of fact, I need to give myself credit for being me, because whether I want to say to her that she's right or not, but she is, because I wouldn't want someone to take my individuality away from me just because, you know, I'm thinking lustfully, okay, about what my man could possibly want to do to her. Isn't that planting the seed? It's shit like that. Because what you don't realize that you're doing, you planting the seed in that man mind. Now he looking at me and looking at all my attributes like, yeah, they are tasty. Yeah, I do like her shirt better than your shirt, you know. And then now you have this internal war within yourself because you have enticed your man onto something that wasn't even on the table. Okay? And this is what I mean by give yourself credit to think, to not think like that. Okay? If you give your man credit to be who he is designed to be, that means that man is going to say, hey, why the fuck would you just think that I got low self-esteem or that I'm not secure within myself or that I don't understand how to be as a man for myself or to you? It is degrading if I have you right here with me and I am with you and then I am in your girlfriend's face. Okay? That's totally disrespectful. But if I have not done anything like that, how's this brought up in conversation? How has this become a topic of discussion? How is this something that you feel like you should be able to argue with me about? And all I did was tell her, hey, hello. It's things like that. This is why my destiny is safe. Because I choose the higher form of thought. And I don't accept the lower forms of thought. I don't accept projections of thought, transfers of thought, or sneaky backdoor movements of thought. Thought is the first action before an action is actually taken with steps from your real motherfucking feet or your mouth. That's why your thoughts still manifest, even though it's in a dream or just an idea or just something that comes across your brain. Because you don't realize what you spew out of this can translate into some good or translate into some negative. This is why my destiny is safe. This is how I knew it wasn't me putting me in danger. If I am able to still think objectively, I am not controlled. My soul isn't taken. And I can get out of whatever somebody else puts me in. Because see, once your soul gets taken, or if it's been taken multiple times, or if you've given it over to some form of an entity, you lose your train of thought. It is silently spoken, verbally spoken, and written as well. You lose your mental. Okay? And when my mental was taken from me, when I said someone had did something and I lost my soul or I lost my spirit and I had to get it back, it was an illegal transfer of taking. This is why my destiny is safe. Because I never signed anything. I never walked through any thresholds of a door of a demonic entity or place. And if I came across a demonic motherfucker, right, and they were looking like a good guy or girl, I did not agree to any demonic actions being done to me. That's why I was able to get my soul back, my spirit back, and all the way to the beginning of time, to my original soul. Because it was other people putting my name in things that I had no idea about. And I was always in a trap of some kind. And then there was nobody to help me get out that trap. It was designed that way. That means these were plans from folk that they have done before, used before, and have gotten certain desired results. And I would see the disappointment in people when they weren't getting the desired results when things would happen to me. And I would know, okay, who's doing what? Was it always for me to say something? I could have. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to keep arguing all the time. I don't want to keep fussing all the time. I don't want to keep fighting all the time. Like, I don't want this to be my life every day. Like, I know that there's more out there in life than this. Like, I don't want to sit around all day and not do shit unless, guess what? I am sick. Or I am actually physically tired. That's the only time I want to be able to lay down. You know? But outside of that, no, I want to be productive. And what people don't understand is when you try to place sicknesses on people through spell work, it does not matter. That shit will break because it's not their organic sickness. It is somebody else's. Transfers are not meant to last long at all. And then God has a cap on transferring something to anybody, no matter what month they are born. Okay? But you can't do something on a consistent basis, or even like, how can I put it? No longer than 12 years. Okay? It's like a rule, a universal rule. You know, and if your zodiac sign is due for karma, that's the longest length that you're going to get it, unless you are the ones doing the transfers to multiple different people. So imagine if you're doing transfers to me and you've affected me for 12 years. Okay? And then you did transfers to somebody else 12 years. Transfer to somebody else 12 years. Transfer to somebody else 12 years. That's like 60 years. You're going to get that 60 years back times 10. So your 20-some-year-old self, a 30-some-year-old self could be looking 50 and 60 years old. And people don't understand why that is. And it's like, no, you lying. Yes, you do. You know why. That's why they still are on the hunt looking for people, because they want the youth to come back. Because they don't want people to see that they are actually, like, let's say 32 on paper. But in the flesh, they're looking 70. And some people like that. And it's because of all of the things you've done to hurt and deplete people. Because the universe has to restore other people. This is why my destiny is safe. I took the time out to learn, even though people did not teach me. I took the time out to observe, even when others didn't like it. I took the time out to study behavior. And I knew behaviors were toxic. I made it my business to learn because of everything that other people were doing to me. And if I had the opportunity to have you in front of my space, I would ask you, why are you doing this? Like, what is your problem? Like, what is going on with you? Why do you feel like this is okay to do? And a lot of times, a lot of people didn't want to give answers. A lot of times, they didn't know the answers. Or a lot of times, they did know. They just didn't want to tell me, oh, I want to purposely affect you. I want to purposely, get under your skin. I want to purposely harm you. I want to purposely put you in a fucked up ass, shitty ass way. And I would understand it, and I would see it, and I would be like, all right, okay, touche. Like I recognize it. Checkmate. I see it. That doesn't mean I'm going to retaliate and do the same thing back to you. And that's the thing when people do fucked up shit to other folk, they automatically assume you're going to retaliate. And that's like, why? Why the fuck would I do that when I know that karma's going to bounce right to me? Which is the same shit you was trying to throw my way. And I said, I ain't catching that. I don't want your ball. No, I fuck that shit. I go buy my own goddamn baseball, softball, football, basketball, whatever. I'm not catching your shit. And I ain't throwing the shit back to you with your same ball, meaning I ain't matching your energy either, because all that does is create the cord. It creates the energetic feed to where a person can attach some fucking their karma to you. This is why my destiny is safe. The other main reason why my destiny is safe is because everything that people put me through was theirs. It wasn't mine. I never had the opportunity to live my life the way I wanted to. And then even when I was on the road, living my life the way I wanted to, people had something to say about it, to scrutinize it in every which form and way that they thought that they could, to make me minimize how I was flourishing and how I was happy with what I was doing. Like, I did not care if you didn't like what I was doing. I'm like, well, shit, I like it. I love it. I'm comfortable with it. I know I checked it with God on it. I ain't ashamed of shit. Not irritated people more. But this is why my destiny is safe. I stayed 10 toes for myself. About myself, to myself. I never dipped off in nobody else's business. I never called to be like, I want to just keep talking about somebody else. I just want to keep no. I would tell people the shit I would go through with other motherfucking people, and I would try to get my point across, and if we stayed on the phone for 10, 15 minutes or 2 hours, I would just let everything that's already didn't happen. And that I ain't dealing with it, I ain't going through it, and you ain't going to put me through it. I don't care what you're saying, I don't care who you are, and it ain't for me. See, I knew that a long time ago. It's not for me. But even when I would be sitting in my living room, minding my own goddamn business and recovering from surgeries and things, and I'm like, not going out, not hanging out, not doing shit, but like it could be my birthday. And I am having the best time at home, eating what I want to eat from wherever I want to get it from, and I'm watching me some TV. I would still get all kinds of fuck nigga and fuck bitch calls about shit that they say I'm doing. And I'm like, I ain't even in your town. My car is parked right outside my house. So how are you calling me saying that I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm not there? But you know what? People are swearing up and down trying to put that shit on me. And I'll be doing and saying the same shit. How? Where? And people would be mad that I'm getting through stuff. Like people would be mad I'm getting through the cancer or the diabetes or the ulcers, okay, the fibroids, the blood transfusions, the venereal diseases, the AIDS, the HIV, like all of these things. And I'm telling you, there have been people that would put these things on me, put these things in my blood, and give me medicine for them and have it orchestrated as medicine for something else. And you know what I would nice and politely do? I said, well, damn, my kidneys are hurting. Why are my kidneys hurting? I'm not drinking. I'm not overindulging in any liquor, any wine, any beer. I'm not going out, but my kidneys are hurting. And I would see all of the diseases that could come up from your kidneys. And I'm like, I don't do any of these things to get this. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to treat myself for this anyway. And I would be like looking up natural ways to treat my kidneys for whatever. Because of symptoms, because of how it would feel, because of where it would be at on my body. And I'm just using the kidneys as an example. And I'm talking about, I would look up stuff, my nervous system, my blood, my brain, my neck, my breasts. It didn't matter. I educated myself. I went out and I got the natural stuff and I used it. And I still use things from the doctors too. But this is why my destiny is safe. Because it is time for me to live my life the way the fuck I want to live it. Not the way other people want me to live my life. My life was not supposed to be under any form of scrutiny at all. My life was not supposed to be damaged in any kind of way. Neither was my body. So when you're asking, why is God protecting her the way that God is protecting her? It's because man was supposed to protect me in this way. And they did not. They did not. And you know, it made me very sad at one point. Not for myself. That was the thing. That's another reason why my destiny is safe. I said, well, shit, how many earth angels has this already happened to? And you know what God would direct me to? Isn't it funny? There's always 800,000 kids that are missing every year. Every year. 800,000 every year. And I would say something like, people say I'm an earth angel, and I'm like, that's an understatement. Because the way you're treating a fucking angel, yeah, no, I got to be more than an angel. And God was saying, in fact, you are. You're not just a regular earth angel. You're Metatron, my right hand angel. Okay? And God would say, you're God too. You're my daughter, my firstborn. And God would say, everything that you mastered in the heavenly realm, you become it. So imagine mastering being the devil, mastering being Lucifer, mastering being Satan, mastering being an angel, mastering being a God. It's like, but what are you the God of? That's what God was explaining to me. And every time I would think about any form of death that someone would put me through, God would always say, 800,000 kids missing every year. And I did the math. Damn, 800,000 times 365 days a year. Sometimes I would do the math as far as like how many years I've been living on this earth. 800,000 times 45 years. And one time when I did that, this last year, totally sad, and immense sadness came over me. And I was so pissed with everyone and anyone, known and unknown, that has affected my life in a negative manner. Because I looked at it like this. You sent me here to save this world from destruction. And that's all people have been doing, is destroying this world by destroying the people in the process. And then using them for energy harvesting in the process, okay? And then they come across the strongest energy, which is mine. And these fuckers are like not remorseful at all, because again, 800 children missing every year. They have this down pat every fucking year. So imagine it being done 45 years of my life. And I say to myself, however many billions of people that totals out to be, I am still somewhat responsible for saving their life, even though they are not here anymore. Did their soul and their spirit die in vain? How did they die? Because you know the horrible things that you put people through, it just transfers into different sicknesses. And then I thought about all the kids that are living with some form of a debilitating disease, and you're in these unhealthy households. And people understand and know that they could change that by changing themselves, and they refuse. And then the people that commit the egregious acts, they're cool with it. But they don't want that to happen to their kids. It's like, come again? Your kids are saints, but you're the devil? No, your kids up for auction too. The same fucking way. It is shit like that why my destiny is safe, because it's a whole balancing of the universe. So it doesn't matter how many of you demonic fucks that are in power and that like think your money got you and that you can get away with all the shit that you're doing. It's like me being the like legal, physical, material, spiritual, biblical fucking truth. God is telling you, yeah, that shit's over. And you can't. Because I made sure to raise an indestructible being that you can't fuck over, fuck around on, unless you're going to fuck around and find out that you ain't getting away with this shit no more. And the part that really got me was this. I came back and forth to this earth 21 other lifetimes. And I've dealt with different things like this for the past, I think it's like 5 to 9 lifetimes. And these same people don't finish reading through the prophecy. And I'm like, why is that? And then immediately in my mind is a light bulb. It's by design. Okay? But when I would get it's by design, then God would say, everything in this world has been done before. There's no such thing as a coincidence. I said, okay, I've taken these steps before. And then God would say, you know what to do. And I'm like, how? How do I know? I wasn't trained. I wasn't well versed. I never had the information. But 21 lifetimes, I know. It's embedded in my soul and my spirit. I know. I got my soul and my spirit back. I know. I educated myself, and when I took notes on when those light bulbs was going off, I know. And I got so good at it that throughout my life, Mother and Father God would talk to me. It's like the better you get at understanding all things, not to be a guru or a scholar, it's just resonating, understanding, and then understanding who you are. And you're in your rightful place as you are, or as you should be. They're like, yo, hell yeah, we're going to help you. Hell yeah, we're going to look out for you. Hell yeah, we're going to come through for you. That's that 10 toes on that spiritual shit that motherfuckers don't want you to know that you got, that you got working for you. When people don't work for you, God works for you. That's why I would say to folks, I never turn my back on God. I don't give a fuck who you is. It ain't you that saved my life. God did. Every moment when my life was taken, I was by myself most of the time. I was surrounded with people that I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Or if I was around people that I did know, God would let me know, like, these motherfuckers are setting you up. I need for you to stick and move just like this way, on this day, at this time, like that. And if I was even being stubborn and not wanting to believe how diabolical some people were, the nudge is stronger. It's like move, like that. Like go, like that. And some people could say, damn, she ran away from me. Damn, she left without saying goodbye. Damn, she fucked me over when she ain't even want to get no clarity on shit. That's, God is saying, oh, you don't need no clarity on this shit. Because this ain't shit that's going to last long. This ain't shit that you going to need to be worrying yourself about. This ain't shit that's supposed to be some shit. This shit ain't yours. So when God tell you get up and get the fuck on, that's what you do. You don't ask no questions about, well, I thought you loved me. I thought you cared about me. Okay, you setting yourself up to get fucked up because you done stayed. You want to stay and ask some questions. That's just like one of them goddamn cartoons. Remember the Road Runner? And that little Amityville, like, what's that shit that'll fall out the damn sky? It's like this piece of steel. And it's like, it's coming to crush your ass. You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, how the fuck does it always find them? It's the sky. That's God saying, you done fucked up. I done told you don't stay here long. I done told you don't get the fuck on. People have a problem with getting the fuck on. And people probably thought I had a problem because I was still nice. I came back around. Or maybe a few times I stayed. During some parts of my life, I really thought I could help people. But there are some people you just cannot help. And I had to learn it wasn't from the present day reasoning why you can't help them. They have things that are deep embedded in them that come from previous lifetimes, okay? That they have not grown from. They have not let go of. And it is so deeply rooted that they have to work that out. And when you tell people that they got to tackle their demons, that they got to right their wrongs, that they got to go to God on some homage shit, you might get some people to say, who the fuck is you to tell me that I ain't humble, or that I need some extra work, or that what I'm doing ain't the right way. Well, it's not the right way because you want to cuss me out, you want to fuck me over, and you want to hurt me or you want to kill me. Ain't none of that the right way. But if that's the right way for you, check this out. I ain't got to stay here. I ain't got to be your friend. I ain't got to put up with it. I ain't got to deal with you. And I ain't got to be the voice of reason to change your mind. Because some of these motherfuckers think because you are an angel of some kind, or you are a chosen being of some kind, or you come from this heavenly realm of some kind, they're like, oh, you supposed to stay with me because you supposed to be helping me. And you supposed to get me to the light. And you supposed no, the fuck I ain't. That's not what that means. At all. You can be a guide to people. And all that's saying is you can lead that horse to that water. You can't make that horse drink that water. You can tell a person all day, this crunk juice right here is gonna save your life. But I got to get you to the crunk juice fountain of motherfucking youth. And in order to get there, you got to deal with your past traumas. That means you got to go through this Florida water and come out that bitch. And, you know, an unhealed motherfucker would be like, shit, like, damn, can I catch a cab? So I ain't got to stick on them sticker bras, and I don't want to be no flying monkey going through the trees and shit. Can I catch a plane and just meet you on the other side? Like, I don't want to have to go through the terrain of that forest. And then it's like when you thinking about like that, God, it's like, that's the whole point. The forest is the journey of going through your fuck shit. Processing to understand. Not processing to stay like what the fuck you are. Like, And so if I say, well, you know, it's up to you because I'm a guide. You know, you can take the cab or you can take the plane. But I'm supposed to walk you through, you know, this desert, this forest, this storm, and go this way because this is where your lessons are. And you get to like your promised land and you can drink the crunk juice, the good shit, the water, okay? And when you don't go, meaning that could be 3 different ways. Your physical body doesn't want to go. And you want to send your spiritual representative or your soul representative, you know. And God's like, nah, it's supposed to be all 3 parts, bruh, sis. All 3 parts. That's a real thing. Okay? But let's say if you're that horse, all right? And you're in physical representation with me. But you're not in soul representation or spirit representation. So it's like you ain't catching on to, you know, the pitfalls and shit. You ain't learning no lessons. So then, you know, when I got you there at the water, I'm like, we here. We here. The motherfucking water. You looking dumber than a box of rocks. Like, why we had to go this way to get here? And what's so special about this water? Like, and why is it over here at this lake? And what's the instructions on why I gotta drink it? Or what was this supposed to do for me? You lose yourself along the way. Because you choosing not to open up to understand and to learn and to catch on like, okay, I did do this fuck up here. I did do that fucked up shit there. I do need to make up for this shit right here. I do need to apologize for this over here. And I do need to make this right financially. And I do need to make this right mentally. And I do need to check my emotions. All that shit. When you don't want to do, all you doing is showing God you a bigger devil than he thought. You know, God is like, shit, I knew you was a devil, but damn. You know, you can step into somewhat of, to being something, to, it's a definite, to diabolical. It's like that. But these are reasons why my destiny is safe, because I can see it. I can recognize it. And people feel safe in my energy because I want to make sure I provide that safety for myself, because it was never provided for me. And I learned how to provide it for me with God. You know, I mean, I might have my parents that would say like, okay, if they give me money for something, and if I can go out somewhere, all right. And they would check my friends out, meaning, you know, I could bring such and such the guy or such and such the girl over to the house so they'll know. And they might say to me like, hey, I don't want you to really go out with her. Or I don't want you to really deal in this long term with this. Now, that's some form of protection, okay? And that's some form of recognition in a parent where it's like, oh, baby, or tread lightly, or think a little bit more about this. But it's when they don't say anything, that's no protection. It's like, oh, if you like him, I like him. And not giving you no information in between on, hey, I seen how he acts. He twitched 5 times to the right. And I know if he does that, that he's got something up with this right here. Or, hey, I know this your dude or whatever, but he is still, he ain't paying you no mind. But he definitely is paying, my daughter some mind. And you can tell if people are being malicious when they say something like that, or if they just tell you straight facts and the truth, and you can see it. And if you can see that like, a parent of some kind is really trying to save you from a disaster, and you need to allow them to do that. I mean, like, damn, I do see him, and he just looking at my cousin. Okay, you ain't the man for me. Okay, I ain't gonna keep you as my man. And like, I'm gonna let you, maybe this meeting that we had with the folk was for me to see this. There's reasons like that where my destiny is safe. I also knew 10, 12 years ago, when people are nice to people that they don't know, and they get along like they know each other, that means that they really do know each other. You just don't know that they know each other. But they know each other from other things, like their secret societies, like their real faith that they practice, like their other fraternities that they are into, and their co-workers. They know that stuff already. You don't. And you could be like, oh, I just want to introduce you to Eric. And, me and him met, and it was in the mall, and da-da-da-da. And they're like, hey, Eric, how you doing, But it's like, sometimes their guard isn't even up with Eric. It's kind of like a brother, a cousin, a father. Their guards might usually be up on some shit like, let me check this nigga out, see what the fuck he got going on. But when they cool, and they don't say some shit like, hey, Eric, don't I know you from somewhere? Didn't I meet you? And Eric might say, yeah. Was it at damn gas station down the street? Yeah, that's where I know you from. Like that. Or they're like, no, Eric goes to my church. Or Eric is in my gym. Or Eric is he's one of my frat brothers. Like that. People know what they're doing. They hope you don't know what they're doing. And then people get mad at me when they find out that I do know what they're doing, but I ain't saying nothing about me knowing what they're doing. And then my thought is this: why the fuck do I gotta argue with you about shit that you was trying to do sneakily to me, and I done figured the shit out? What you should be happy for is, I ain't doing nothing to retaliate against your sneaky ass. Or to even get your sneaky ass locked the fuck up. But sometimes I realize with people, when you don't do things to get them in trouble for some of the heinous crimes that they have, they keep doing those heinous crimes. And they don't stop. They look at it like a pass. This is why my destiny is safe. And they feel like they're entitled and they can keep doing things to you. This is why my destiny is safe. Because even when I said something and people didn't react, they didn't help me, they didn't follow through, they didn't look. That means they knew what was going on. They allowed it to happen because they were invested in the outcome of their desire, not the outcome of preserving my life. Okay? So that's why my destiny is safe. And that's why my destiny is, yes, I can have my original soul. And I did go through every trial and error of man, the devil, whatever. And I got through it the right way and safely. And I didn't hurt another in order to do it. Like, it ain't no lying about I didn't hurt another to do it. It's real fucking facts being wrote down by people that have been secretly watching my ass and making sure and even lining shit up to be in front of me to see what type of reaction I'm going to do. That type of shit. That is why my destiny is safe. And that's why my destiny is for me to be my motherfucking self. Where I ain't got to hide shit from no damn body. I ain't got to dress up how I look. I ain't got to dress up my talk. I ain't got to appeal to nobody, appease nobody. I don't have to ask you for no permission. I don't have to be granted access to shit because the higher power has always chosen me, even before birth, during birth, after birth, and throughout my whole motherfucking life. That shit ain't changed. When I say to people, you know God can see the future, it don't matter if you've been time. He can see the future. They can see the future. They can also see what the fuck you're gonna do. What you gonna say? What's gonna spark the change? What's gonna spark the elevation? What's gonna spark the creation? What's gonna spark the change in not just your life, but the world? And out of everybody in the world, my change was the most profound. My ideas were the most profound. My way of thinking lined up celestially. No matter when they came and checked on me, first decade, second decade, third decade, fourth decade, I would have been out there in the forefront if I sold my soul. But because I didn't, I had to wait for the new age of Aquarius. But what motherfuckers did not want to tell me is the fuck that I am the age of Aquarius. I am who brings that in. I am the motherfucker that brought it in. Okay? And that I embodied the I am in me and the I am of God. So imagine when people don't tell you about yourself. And then when you find out about yourself, it's like, you give me the Bible or you give me God literature for it to come full circle back on me. For me to know that I'm a God. And you don't tell me shit because I'm already a God. And you want me to make a godly mistake. And the God of all gods is like, you want her to basically trip over her own feet? Why would I allow that? It's different if you taught her and then she did something to fuck herself up. But to not teach her and then you want to land and put her in all fucked up positions. And no, this one doesn't have to do any magic in order to get out of something. Because she's using her intellect to get out of everything. And I'm trying to show you this is what you should be doing. Not that other shit. This is how you stay living and you preserve your living and you keep living. You know? And it turns into immortality because everything that everybody did was to give me death in every area of my life. In all 12 houses of my life. Of all 12 of my chakras. And all God is saying is like, yo, you think I ain't gonna let her live and have a prosperous life after all the shit I know all y'all motherfuckers put her through? You gotta be out your goddamn mind. And then the fact that you knew that she was not just an angel, that she was a God, and that you knew that she was my daughter. And I watched you do this shit to her. And you wondering why you got bad blood with me. But through trial and error, I was fixing God problems, angel problems, and human problems. And you know why I did not mind? I did not give a fuck when the assignment, was coming full-fledged. Because I was already looking for it. I was already waiting on it. I was already checking the timing for it. Because I've been wanted change. I was been doing shit to enact change. Even when motherfuckers couldn't see me. Even when motherfuckers thought I was down and out and I'm in the bed and all that kind of shit. I was enacting so much change and changing so much shit in the world behind the scenes. Like, you can't see what's going on in my mind. And you can't see how I co-create with God in my fucking mind. But God can. But I done got so good at the shit that I projected my mind to the whole spiritual community around the fucking world so everybody can understand what the fuck I was going through and what the fuck I'm doing to change it. Not nobody else pretending to be me. That's what sets me apart from all the pretenders, because once those spiritual facts be coming through and those evidence of change be coming through, and then you ask one of them fake motherfuckers, do this shit right here, they ain't gonna be able to do it. Or they gonna pretend and think that they doing it, then they be like, wait on it. You ain't gotta wait. You know why you ain't gotta wait? Because I know some of my manifestations take like an hour, some of them take like a day, some of them take like 10 hours, some of them take like a week, some of them take 2 weeks. I know which ones. Some of them take 3 days, some of them take, a day. And so people are like, well, damn, I want her to manifest some money or some trips or some cars or some houses or some shit. And when you had access to my dreams, you was just taking the shit. When you had access to my journals and my papers and all that, you was just taking the shit. When you had access to my home, you was just taking the shit. When you had access to my phones, you was just taking the shit. And everybody got paid off of me and made companies off of me. Off of information that I decided to take the time out to learn. And you thought that you weren't going to pay me for it or acknowledge me for it or that I wasn't going to get credit for it. You out your damn mind. Period. There's no way to escape everything that I've done. And I know everything that I've done. And so does God. That's why it's no escaping God. That's why God woke me up, okay? Because I wasn't supposed to be in the matrix in the first place. I am what moves this world forward, not backwards. And it's demonic as fuck when you want to keep a world in a loop. And if everybody has the opportunity to access the universe within themselves, that means, yes, you can change the trajectory of the world. But what God is concerned, how? How do you want to change the trajectory of the world? What efforts are you putting in to do that? And it's efforts that we think will be great. Whatever your efforts are, you get blessed celestially for those efforts regardless. So you could walk this earth and not have a dime in your pocket, but you are still making money in heaven because of the choices that you make. But when you step into your calling, yeah, it becomes a job that can manifest into this physical world. Okay? And I've always thought about the higher power first. I ain't think to go to my parents first. They might have thought I went to them first. I went to God first. So even when sometimes my parents would be like, hey, what you need is this Bible and to find God. And I would be sometimes like, what the fuck? I done found God. I done dealt with God. God talked to me all the goddamn time. What the fuck is you passing this Bible like I ain't read this bitch? And they'll be looking at me like, oh, she a little hateful old thing. She ain't read shit. Like she ain't grown, she ain't educated, and she don't know what the fuck she talking about. And I'm like this, oh yes I do. And yes I have. And the reason why I can say the shit that I'm saying the way I'm saying it is because I died 50 million motherfucking times. I asked the hard questions. I was in those rooms that other people didn't see, that never touched. And I still asked the right questions. I still learned the right shit. And I still made it out of every fucking pit. Oh, nah, you can't tell me shit. You can't tell me a motherfucking thing. You know. But because they can't see God, they would be like, nah, she fabricating, she full of shit. Yet you would know what the fuck you put me through. And you would know I'm not supposed to survive. And you would know that it was a higher power that saved me. Each fucking time. And you just refuse to accept, like, that's what the fuck happened. It's shit like that why my destiny is safe. And the man that's included in my destiny, I want people to really understand this. Why this man is included in my destiny. If I am the universe, or if I am God, okay? He is the universe and he is God as well. Our universe mirrors. Our God mirrors. We are same soul, same spirit, same mind, same heart, same body essentially. Okay? It's just the duality of the mirror. Okay? Male, female. All right? We are both kept safe because of all the fuck shit that people decided that they wanted to do to two motherfucking people on a grand scale, which is constant death. And I don't understand a lot of folk, but if you conjuring up some damn death on two people all the damn time, and they keep rising in the morning, when is it going to click to you that you should stop doing it? And that what you're doing isn't working? Or that these two people should not be dead? It's like, why are they going to die? That's what God is like looking at. Like, who wants to kill them and why? Nope. Mm-mm. You must understand the value that is placed on two people. Priceless. Because of the work that they know we're going to do. Even if we haven't done it all yet. And it is because of the trials, tribulations, adversity, the hatred, the jealousy, the envy, the anger that everyone has towards these two people, because you are so mad that God favors us. And the story is old as fucking time. God favors us because we're his first children. And it's something about them firstborns that's going to listen, regardless if they got other siblings behind them. Them first two going to listen. They still going to ask God, you know, if I got to fuck this person up, what's the best way for me to fuck them up so, you know, I can still go on with my day and not, you know, feel bad about what the fuck I'm about to say or what the fuck I'm about to do, because they pissing me off to that point. God's still going to provide you with a solution to that shit. But it's the whole point. We asked God. We included God in our life. We did not exclude God. Okay? And God just doesn't have a precedence in our life on Sunday, or on Wednesday, or on Tuesday, or on Saturday. And then it's like we ain't got to pop the bottle, out to celebrate what God does for us. And we don't necessarily have to be walking Bible thumpers either. Like, let me tell you what God did for me. It's like we walking, talking testimonies all day fucking long. We understand and appreciate God. And you want to have a godly mate, but the narrative that's spent about a godly person, all the scripture, all about the walk and the talk and how you look and how you act and what you have. Ain't none of that God. That's all man shit. What God care about? How your soul look. How your spirit look. What that motherfucker really look like. God can tell if it's a demon under your suit. And sometimes when I talk to folk and I might appear, I would always say, like in some of my stories, in this angelic body. And I said, wait a minute, let me let you know I'm just as human as you. I take my head off and I unzip this avatar. I said, see, underneath here, I'm a devil too. And maybe it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable to talk to me in this form. Okay? But even in this form, and you see me take off my other suit, that doesn't mean that I can't put my other suit back on. That means I can't help you find your suit either. Okay? And what I'm trying to make sure I get people to understand is there's not a way to get rid of your devil. It's like your devil is your lower self, the animalistic version of you. But it's your responsibility to grow your devil, like from that childlike mind to that adult mind. And what happens is your devilish self starts to transform into your angelic self, because your devil's learning, your devil's understanding, your devil is recognizing, like, oh shit, I could keep this up and be in this fucking loop for years and never realize I've never changed shit in my fucking life. And so grasping the understanding of knowledge itself, it starts to open your eyes and you start to recognize, oh shit, I am doing myself a disservice by keeping this up. I am doing myself more harm than good by continuing this act of this behavior. I am blocking my own blessings because I choose to think this way, or I choose to be in this like form 24/7. No growth. And God is like, damn. Winds change, plans change, house change, shit, you change your clothes, you wash yourself, you don't get your hair cut the same every fucking time. And it's like, but you still want to remain the same trifling ass motherfucker. You want to be that till you die. That's like sealing your fate. You get why my destiny is safe? I bet you get it now. I am going to holler at you folks later. Education over and out.